town hall meeting. This is the 3 of 4. So there's one more left after this. We're excited that you are here with us this afternoon. If you were wondering if anybody would show up, and you did. And so thank you for being here this afternoon to learn some more information about our proposed bond package. Again, my name is David Edison. I think all of you know me by now. But we're going to run through this fairly quick because we want to introduce a couple of new things in this meeting to you guys. And we believe that we've had a lot of people watch our videos online, so those that were not able to be here are being able to watch this online. And so I don't want to just have to go through the same stuff over and over and over to bore you. However, it is good to know this information. So this is kind of the agenda that we're going to go over. Our differences, we're going to start talking about the website a little bit and so forth. Before I go any further, I do want to thank Ms. Frazier and Coach Earl for setting this up for us. We are in the agriculture complex, and we're actually going to take a small tour after this so you can kind of see some of the cool things that we have going on in agriculture. And then also see how we're already scrambling for space when we talk about the loft area up here that One Act Clay has to use in this building. So we'll talk about that, and we're actually going to include some of that on our videos so those that are not here are able to see that as well. All right, so how do we get here? Just real quick, you guys probably can say this better than me, but last fall we got together, we formed a committee, facilities committee, that reviewed all of the things that we would like to see in Full ISD have, and we came up with an impressive list, and we made a recommendation to the board. This was the list. We made a recommendation to the board on January 24th, and the board approved the facilities committee recommendation to go out for a bond here in the spring, and that's what got us to this point. Our facility overview basically is all of this right here, our buildings and the year that they were built. And one thing that I'd like to point out in this presentation, as always, our district fleet, again, is one thing that our board has been able to take on ourselves, and we've been able to pay for out of our normal yearly funds. We've never asked the public for their help in funding our fleet. Our fleet is all fairly new. Our kids now have safe buses. They're all air-conditioned buses. And we rotate those through every 5 years. So, great fleet plan, as you can see, kind of where we are on our facilities. This building was built as part of our last bond project. It was actually built in 2012. And you can see for a 10-year-old building, this building still looks pretty good and does hold several functions for us. So that's our facility overview. And this bond package was basically a vision for 2022, a bold step in our pursuit of a bigger and brighter tomorrow. And I said this before, we understand that times are hard, we understand that they're tough right now. And this is a bold step. This is a bold step for us to take in the pursuit of providing our kids with everything that we believe that they deserve in order to be successful here in Aquila, Texas. We're going to talk about a couple of things again today because coming up very shortly, probably next week, you're going to be receiving your tax statements in the mail, your appraised values. We're going to tell you a little bit about what to do with those, how to tear them up. Making sure you're still with me, not really tear them up. But we're going to talk to you about those. We're going to talk to you about how you can go on our website, enter that value into a calculator. It's going to tell you exactly how much your taxes will go up because of this bond. And so that's kind of a cool feature that we want to point out to you guys as we're not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. And I'm going to say this now. I'll probably say it at the end too. This is an opportunity for everyone to get out and vote. We're not telling you how to vote. We're telling you to get out and exercise your freedom to vote in the democratic process. That's what we're asking. So everybody has simply providing you with the information for that. At this time, Tamara is going to get up and talk to you about our online application.
So as most of you have probably already heard before, these are the things that we are looking at adding with this bond. One of the main things we felt were very important and the facility decided was at the top of the list was a multi-purpose facility which would host a UIL regulated stage for one at the play. With that, it has flexible seating where the floor, like now, you can take seats and put them out or pick them up if you need it. But then there's also risers for another part of the building that are stationary. They're there. This building would be useful for graduations, for one-night plays, for our kids to practice on an actual stage and get to use all of their props, all of the lighting, all of the sounds, as they would whenever they actually perform. It would also be used for graduations, for banquets, award ceremonies, and things like that that are currently done in the gym. We get band concerts, is another thing. The Fine Arts Night that we had in December that included everybody in the entire school that was held in the cafeteria on our little, I want to say, practice stage. That was pretty crowded, if any of you were there. We get a band hall in this. We also get an art room in this. So we get 2 classrooms in this building. Let's see. Our special ed classroom is currently what would be like a closet. And the idea with this is to revamp that, give them more space so that you have a elementary and secondary and special ed class with those that make those things proper to their meeting. 6 new instructional classrooms, obviously 2 of them would be the multi-purpose. The other 4 would be extended onto the secondary wing. In doing that, those 4 classrooms get pushed onto the current football field. And then the old ag shop, which is currently the concession stand, helping out some of the things that are in that.
Our theater classroom is in there.
Theater classroom is in there.
We have a power play.
Okay.
Like
So that's going to get reworked into a physical education area for elementary kids. Because right now, everybody goes and uses the gym, and scheduling can sometimes be a little bit of an issue to get everybody in with their PE, all the way from junior high and high school athletics in additional seating, and we can start having lunches at a more reasonable time for these kids so that whenever they get off the bus or get picked up from school, they're not just starving to death. Outdoor covered recreational space, that's part of the elementary physical education. It's also going to be back there where the old ag shop is in the current concession stand instead of the football field. That is kind of a multi-purpose place to have basketball practice. AYAA can use that. Other little outdoor events that the school might can happen back there in that covered area. Parking spaces out here would like double almost, so that we could host events and have the parking for that. Enclosed early childhood wing. Right now, at the end of the elementary hall, there is a separate building that houses pre-K and kindergarten, and coming in the name of the early childhood special education. That building holds all those kids. So you're talking 4 years old to 6 years old. Maybe even, I don't know how, like three? Yeah, okay. So that building is not enclosed with the rest of the campus. So we would like to see that enclosed. Right now, those doors are locked on both sides. So the teacher has to have an entry card to get in there. I don't really know how much of a safety it is, but it can be a safety thing. Having that group together, can't get them out, have to wait for somebody to come in and open the door for you. Those kids are moving in and out of that building with it not being fully enclosed and attached to the rest of the school. Minimum 3 times a day, maybe 4 times. Sometimes even more, depends on what's happening throughout that day. And then the last one would be a covered walkway from the school to the elementary PE outdoor recreation. Not enclosed, but it is a covered walkway to protect from rain and things like that whenever they're traveling to and from that building. A lot of different things that will ultimately affect every single one of the students here at school, from little bitty all the way up.
Thank you. All right, so back to this list. This just kind of shows you everything that we would take care of, that the committee kind of came up with, taking care of just a numerous amount of things, which are the things that are crossed off, like the complex, the larger cafeteria, the track and field, the covered walkways, the larger kitchen, and so forth. So this was something. How many of you have visited our website? Okay, thank you. That's impressive. If you have not visited our bond website, I do want to encourage you to do that, simply because there is so much information on there, and that's kind of what we're going to spend some of this meeting on. But before we do that, let me just run through this real quick. Again, I know it's repetitive, but again, it's just one of the things that we want you guys to be aware of when we talk about being the stewards of, our finances. We want to give you the proof, basically right here. Our general fund balance, over $1 million. Our board designated $800,000 to a building project similar to this. Our fund balance contribution this past year was over $600,000. Our INS fund balance was $233,000, bringing us to over $2 million in our current fund balance, which is our savings account. And that kind of gives you the totals. We did have a question at the last meeting on why some of these years were zero. That was a good question. That is now in the FAQ. So if you go to the bottom of the website, it will talk to you in detail. We'll get to that about why those years were zero. Why didn't we have any excess money left over like we had in these other years? And again, guys, if you look at this chart, you look at these numbers, these are pretty impressive numbers. Basically because, again, even though we follow the budget, we did not spend everything, okay? Some people look at a budget and they think, oh, we're going to spend everything. We've got to spend everything. That's not what we do. And so we are committed that we have to save money. This just talks about our historical tax However, over the course of the last 2 years, full ISD has been able to bring that back down to $1.24. Again, that's just one thing that we like to share with everyone, just so you know that any opportunity that we have to bring that tax rate down, we're going to do it, as we know your appraised values of your home are going up. So any chance that we get to do that. And enrollment transfers have always been a hot topic, so we always like to just touch base on this. If anybody has any questions, this page has this data back and forth in your head. So basically, just kind of tells you where we were 2 years ago, 244 enrollment. Today we're at 333. 2010-11 we had 85 transfers. Today we have 88 transfers. Where we have not let the gate down, we have not let everyone come into this place. What we have noticed and what we've talked a lot about is a lot of faculty and staff kids are part of this 88. So that's also a good fact to have when we're talking about the transfers. But there's a lot of other stuff that goes into that. Let's just kind of talk about our enrollment. How our enrollment has gone up, our tax rate has gone down. So that chart has also been good. Stopping this process is the design plan, and Taylor is going to go over just a brief overview of what it looks like. Sure.
Okay, so this was our proposed design. I guess I'll start with the two most important things. Would be expanding our cafeteria and adding the classrooms on the secondary side. With both of these expansions or remodels, in the cafeteria, if we expand it, we're going to lose a little bit of space that we already have for theater arts to even use. And so to expand that out, we get 2 more serving lines and even have a little outdoor seating area for the kids and all of that, so that our kids aren't having to eat breakfast, lunch at 10 o'clock in the morning. I say breakfast because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. And ending at 1 p.m. so that we can fit everyone in. If we can get this expanded and get 2 lines through, it would just be really awesome for the kids. But with that expansion like that, we're losing the stage, and so that's where we move into our multi-purpose event center. We'll have the UIL stage, and then we'll also have the 2 extra classrooms to go ahead and move art and band, and then theater arts all in one building. The other part with the 4 classrooms is very important. Where in our space we need extra classrooms for now and for the future. With that addition on the building, it runs into the current football field. And so after a lot of discussion, we're talking about the new football field with a track, kids are doing the track, and do all of that out now, so that in the future, this is open space here to continue to add on to the school as needed. You've got your PE, elementary PE room here where the old ag is. We're expanding a parking lot here, and also the track field. I forgot to say that the field house, concessions and bathrooms and all that good stuff with it will all be on one side. And then you've got your enclosed early childhood connection also on there. And then we've also they discussed that we're going to keep the field maybe a little bit smaller, but it'll still be for the practice field for the kids to practice on and use for athletics. Anybody have any questions on the design plan or why?
So the bus barn will be moved over here too, so that.
Yes, the buses will be moved over here to the end of here, yes. So that will all be for the covered pavilion and the PE room will all be used for the old act shop.
So where the armors and all of that, they're staying with the fire being moved over the bus barn is now.
Anybody else have any questions?
All right. Another thing we want to talk about, and I'm not sure if we said this in our other meeting too, was one of the things school districts and school boards have to do is provide the state with a long-range plan when it comes to facilities and how you go about facilities. So the other thing about this whole sports complex area here, when we talk about a long-range plan, long range meaning that eventually Aquila might get baseball, softball, those things have ample space to go in, these other areas right here. The other thing on parking, we've always struggled with parking. So this parking, again, consists of over 200 spots with this current existing and then our 120 spots. So ample parking for these sporting events, but also ample parking to come down here and go to theater as well. So just kind of want to point that out to you all. We'll talk about the septic field in a minute, but back to that bond website. So let me just transition real quick to that so we can kind of show everybody what that is about at least a bit. I want to thank Mr. Christian for his help in getting this all designed for us so that voters have an opportunity to see all the information online. That's simply our flyer, which you can pick up in the back. But what we want to point out is these things up here, that some people might not understand. You can click on these, and this is going to tell you exactly what they are. The FAQs is a huge one because it's a working document. And so we encourage people to go to this all the time because anytime someone asks a question, whether it be online or at one of these meetings, we put those questions in this FAQ to be transparent, as well as we put our town hall meetings right there. So this town hall meeting will be up there next week. But any question that has been asked is on here. So we encourage you to go through and kind of look at those and just kind of give you an example. We talked about our contributions, the fund balance. There we gave the examples of why we didn't have any fund balance put in that year. For 15-16, we built the early childhood wing. We did that all out of the budget for that year. We were able to do that. 2017, 2018 is when the state went to a different funding formula. Almost every district in Texas was cutting staff and having to reduce in force. Aquila ISD was not one of those districts that had to do that. And we took pride in that we were able to maintain all of our staff during that transition to state funding, and so forth. So we encourage you to go to that to look at those questions because the actual facts are there. The other tab I want to talk to you about is the tax info. Remember I told you that I believe this week, you live in McLennan County, you got yours yesterday, but you'll receive your appraised value that has to go out in April. So we know those are going out. We know those are going out before the bond election. We are okay with that, again, because we don't want anyone to be fooled by the amount of money that this bond is. And again, it goes back to everyone has a voice. We encourage you to vote on how you feel best. At the bottom of this is our tax calculator. Therefore, you can get your current tax value when you get it in the mail. You can place that right here in this bad boy, and you can, let's just say 129. Now, one of the things you have to understand, we put this on here, you need to hit tab and not enter, because if you hit enter, they'll say you owe 0 taxes. No one owes 0 taxes, okay? So hit tab, and it's going to calculate that monthly. Your taxes are going to go up $12.90. Annually, it's $154. Guys, it does not get any simpler than that. Again, you can take it back to what we said before. If you did 100,000, I'm counting my zeros, $10, $120. Okay? So use that tax calculator. Tell people about that tax calculator. When they get those appraised letters, next week probably, there will be, I'll just be honest, the pot will get stirred again. And that's okay, because you can go to this website and it can tell.
I'd like to strike on it. This is the taxable values after the exemptions are took off.
Very good point. Yeah, so taxable values after the exemption.
On the
There's
appraisal
also a
notice,
ceiling on how much tax, your appraisal could go up more than your taxes.
This is true.
In Texas has a law, they'll catch up with you in a couple of years, probably.
Right.
If you go up 30% this year, they're not going to increase your tax bill for
Right. Is that what you're going to say, Mike? or-
no, I'm just gonna point out the appraisal notice has a market value and a taxable value, so make sure they use the taxable value and not the market value.
It's usually on the far right after the
So yes, use the taxable value, not the market. Very good point. Yeah, so it can go up 30%, but you're not going to pay 30% right away.
Also, the Hill County office has listed about 5 or 6 more exemptions, not just over 65.
Okay.
Disability, disabled veterans, surviving spouses of first responders.
Yes.
There's about 5 or 6 that are eligible.
Perfect.
That you couldn't go.
Thank you. All right, so any questions about the website? Also, the voting information is on there, just so everybody knows where to vote, what you need to vote, and all that stuff. And then, of course, as always, if you want to ask your question, please feel free to do so, and we can get you the correct answer. So let's see if we can get back to this bad boy. All right, so septic, lies, and other deceitful tactics. This is a new slide. And so I thought by now, if you were asleep, this might wake you up. But let me just talk to you about this just a little bit, because there have been several comments made about our septic. So-and-so talked to so-and-so, that talked to so-and-so, that talked to someone else. Guys, the last meeting I said this, and I want to say it again because it's the truth, okay? You know, the truth is hard to kill, okay? So that's why we encourage you to come to us to ask us, because we're going to tell you the truth 100% of the time. But a lie being well told is immoral. It's immoral. Our kids do not play football in raw sewage, okay? They don't play football in sewage, okay? In 2014, Aquila ISD bought a substantial amount of land behind this school district. Today, I wish we would have bought more, okay? But we did buy several acres. In doing that, the board voted to move our septic system from behind the current football field across onto our new field, and to make sure that that aerobic system would be able to house Aquila ISD when we get bigger, because we knew growth was coming. And so when doing that, we took a large part of that land, which you can see, so I encourage you, if you haven't seen it, to drive, yeah, it's on the map, to drive by. It is, we've actually got it blocked off with iron, it's a white iron, so you can actually see what it looks like. But it's 4 rows of 7 spray heads. We got 28 spray heads. Currently at capacity, we would use those. Currently, we're using the first 2 rows. Okay, we got plenty of room to move on to the other 2. Our septic, in moving that field over to this area, we were able to open up that area for a practice field directly behind the football field. So this was another comment that was made, is that when we get this new football field, we'll be paying double because we're going to keep on, fertilizing and watering this current field. What's actually going to happen is our practice field, which is behind our current football field, will move to our current football field, and we'll continue to water that. But we're already watering the practice field. We're already fertilizing it as well. So we're not going to be spending double money. But I really just wanted to talk to you guys about the septic being out there, because that one offended me. I'll just be honest. There's no reason that someone should say that our kids play in sewage, or that they come home with brown shoes, or whatever. That's not right. It's incorrect. Our football field does have a crown on it. Water does run off to the side. There's always been water on the sidelines, but our aerobic system is in the far back, and it's got plenty of room for expansion. So just so everybody is aware of that. Also, when we built this building, we made sure that this lift station that is right outside here would be able to house an additional building on this side. So this lift station that we have out here is big enough to house both buildings, so that would push that way, and then it goes that way. When I came to Oakville, I didn't know I was going to be a plumber also, but I can tell you which way the lines run and which way our septic kind of system is. But I did want to share that with y'all as far as I know that has been hot. So we came, you might have had postcards. I know a lot of you have already been here, but we have Post-its in the back. Mr. Coffey, you want to hold those up? If anybody needs one, we'd like to have an opportunity to answer some questions, if y'all have them, about the bond or whatever you have questions about. I know we did not stump everybody, because that was quick. Questions? Mr. Christian will take them if you have them. Okay.
That was on the subject. I was scrolling through posts that people were posting, and I was just questioning it and get an answer.
Yes.
You
That
know,
was a big,
clarification on it, and like I have it on my posting.
that was a big one. Yeah.
But
I do want to say that we had a massive field renovation project, probably 2018. Is that right? Where we completely killed all the grass and jumped down to your field and had to pull up spring beds and all this stuff. And the only thing in that football field is sprinkler heads for the swim. I mean, there's no other line. We done the entire thing up and put it back down. So it's ridiculous. It's lovely.
I would go ahead and, I noticed there's going to be comments about the floodplain.
Oh,
Maybe we're going to on that, maybe.
Yeah, so we did have a question about floodplain. It is on the FAQ. I encourage you to look at it too, because FEMA actually provides us with maps of floodplains. Our football field, this area, the portion of land that we own, is not in a floodplain that is designated by FEMA, okay? So FEMA, again, has provided us with a chart. We placed it on there. So please don't think that we're building in a floodplain or that our field's going to cause other areas to flood. That's what engineers are for, to ensure that that does not happen. So please be mindful of that, and that is not a floodplain area back there. Very good question. Other things that we might need to address just to help people understand. Again, like I stated before, we are in the agricultural complex that we built in 2012. And I do want to take just a minute, and I know we're going to do some of this on video for people too, but to show you some of the amazing things that go on in this building. One thing that we've listed on there too was our coursework, our courses that we offer secondary students. Some of you might not understand everything that we offer our kids here at Hill. We pride ourselves on offering them a vast variety of electives. One of the electives, Cheryl, you want to hold that up? So one of our electives is a floral arrangement, floral design class. So floral design actually has a class, and you can join a club and get arrangement for every season for our staff members, and they work on these things. But it's things that interest kids, things that they can go on and do. Also, and so that's just one of the things. But I've said P-TECH probably a million times because I'm just a big proponent of that. And that grant alone has given this district almost $500,000 to provide us with the things that we see there behind Jake, which is our automotive part of P-TECH. None of this was here before then. Guys, if you ever priced any of these things, they're not cheap. And this is just stuff, again, that our district has sought after to provide our kids with one more opportunity so that when they leave this place, they will have the tools that they need to be successful in that place, outside of it. And that's what it's all about, is capturing that interest and giving them the tools they need to be successful. So I encourage you to stick around and take a little tour.
Question about wrapping it down. So I was having a discussion with somebody in the district, and, you know, their staple is, we need more ag. And I think if they don't see livestock and husbandry and all that stuff, they think we don't have ag. Last meeting I came to, when you mentioned P-TECH, that's the first I knew about it. Could you tell just a little bit more about what that is? Is that what is funding?
What P-TECH is?
Yes.
Yeah, so P-TECH is, somebody tell me, I always.
Pathways to
Pathways.
technology in early college high school.
Pathways to Technology in Early College High School. Thank you, Mr. Coffee. He's the principal of P-TECH. That's what we tease each other in the office. But anyway, so what that is was a grant that the state put out to provide different pathways for students that are coming up as freshmen to take. And we selected mechanics, and we selected teaching and learning was the other pathway. So what that did was we offered it to 8th graders that were going to be freshmen. We had a parent meeting, and we stated that if your kids join these pathways, we're going to provide them with all these skills they need to become a teacher in one pathway, or to become an auto mechanic or something in the industry in the other. And that grant provided us with the materials to buy all those things. The teaching class, they all actually got MacBook laptops, just as a different way of thinking as far as that goes. But the thing that our board did, which was very powerful, was the board took the initiative to pay for the group credit for these individual kids. That's something that the P-TECH grant would not pay for, was the tuition. But we felt so strong in these kids getting involved in this program that our board said that we would pay for that tuition. We've always paid for college textbooks and so forth, but they're picking up the tuition for this program. We're excited to add to this program because we received the grant again, which is very unheard of also. We're adding welding as part of one of those pathways so that we will be able to offer another pathway in this process. So it continues. I believe that we will continue to offer more endorsements, and this is something that can totally change high school for students in a positive way. And so thank you for allowing us to talk.
I'm going to say, my 8th grader just got a letter this week to discuss all of this, and he's really excited about it. I'm glad that the district is providing that another year. I thought it was really interesting, and I worked here, and I did not realize, is this the program? I think there were like a dozen or something in the state selected, and I didn't realize how limited maybe it wasn't that powerful for us.
Right. So we were one in 12 districts in the state to receive the P-TECH funding, and we were one of the smallest school districts in the state. A bigger school district around here applied, and they did not receive the grant. So we were very fortunate to get the grant, and then we talked about it again because again it has provided. You'll see the things that you walk around with all this provided. But when we said let's try it again, we want to add more to it. There's no way we're going to get it, and boom, they selected us again. We have to meet with TEA every 6 weeks for what they call site visits, and they are now sending districts to us so we can show other districts what P-TECH is doing also. And guys, also on our website, if you click on secondary school P-TECH, you will see a whole list of information about P-TECH and what it's doing here at Aquila, even as far as brochures or that we do for our kids. So thank you for that. A lot of great things going on at Aquila ISD, and I'm just glad I have like this much to do. Okay, it's a very good job. The rest, guys, belongs to you. You guys are the ones that make this place. Okay. The last thing that I would say is this: I don't want this bond to be about me. Okay. This is not my baby. Okay? This is this community's. Okay? I think that I did my part on getting us to this point. Okay? So now it is up district, this community, to vote and say yes or no. So I never want it to be about David Edison. This is not about David Edison, okay? It's about the equalized students. And that's up to you guys to go out and cast your vote. And we will accept the vote, whatever that vote may be. So anyway, we're going to stick around today to talk to you guys if you want to see the place or whatever. I do appreciate y'all coming out on a Saturday evening and spending it with us. We know you got a lot of things you could be doing, but I do appreciate y'all making me talk to myself. All right.
Added to the program is our 2-post lift. This lift is new to us this year. It will lift anything up to a half-ton pickup truck. It does a great job, and the kids have enjoyed putting vehicles in the air and safely using this equipment to change oil and do some underbody kind of maintenance. With that, we got tool storage to our automotive section over here. We have a toolbox that's full of all of our power tools. The students put a lot of time and effort into that by we actually hand cut foam for the tools to go into, so you can have great tool accountability with our toolbox. We also got a tank of tools, toolkits, red sitting over the corner. It's a 1,100 piece tool set, and with that, it's emplaced in foam, and it's an awesome piece of equipment where we have great tool accountability. It can stay locked up, and these tools right here are going to be used for the automotive sector. We also have a Miller Mag 252 welder, which is kind of the newest welder that you can get. It's really super awesome. Our kids love it. And that's just the basis for this part of the program. So P-Tech has done a lot for us, and we're looking forward to the stuff that's going to do for us in the future, and the kids are super excited about it. Going up the stairs, you can clearly tell that once you get to the top, it's pretty tough to situate equipment and turn it around the corner. As far as storage goes, it's a good spot to store stuff for now, but we're out of space, and this is actually supposed to be an ag space anyway, so you'll see kind of as we get up here what kids are dealing with as they come up and try to store things up here. So when you first get to the top of the stairs, if you look kind of to the right, you'll see just desks and common school furniture that we utilize. And then as you keep coming through here, it gets pretty narrow. So you gotta kind of twist and turn and make your way through some areas. We have some HVAC and stuff back behind here, so that space is not really usable for storage anyways. So that's why everything's kind of pulled out to this aisle towards the rail back here. As you come down this way, everything from this point down now will be theaters storage. So you can imagine the maze of things that theaters have to do to get their equipment from this area that we're in right here that goes all the way back to the back wall. And they have to work their way through what we just worked our way through, and then down the stairs and out of the building. It's a common occurrence for them to kind of traverse this area frequently. As we're in ag, we'll see them come in and out during 6th and 7th period, trying to get props to take to the cafeteria for setting up for after school practice and things like that. So it's not a situation that I enjoy seeing the kids get put into, and the ability to get these things out of here and into an actual storage space would be phenomenal.